Welcome to a breakthrough moment in your journey. In this session, we'll explore proven techniques that empower leaders, achievers, and visionaries to overcome obstacles and create lasting success. This is about equipping you with the tools to perform at your highest level and lead with confidence. Let's unlock the power within you. When someone causes disruption in your life and walks away, it's easy to think that they've left for good. But there's a peculiar phenomenon that happens when they return after having hurt you. They didn't leave unscathed. And this return isn't just about them seeking something from you, it's deeper than that. An invisible force pulling them back, a force that even they may not fully understand. It's important to recognize that when they hurt you, it's not just about the pain they caused. What they've done lingers, not only in your heart, but in their own subconscious mind. The actions that led to their departure and the impact on you don't disappear from their psyche. Unresolved feelings and actions create a pull, an inner conflict that continues to disturb them. Even when they distance themselves physically, emotionally, or mentally, the memory of what they did doesn't fade easily. It stays with them in ways that make them question their decisions and reconsider their actions. This conflict within them is often the first reason they come back, seeking to resolve what they couldn't before. Your decision to take a step back, to let go of the need for answers, shifts the entire situation. When you detach and stop looking for closure from them, something incredible happens. You begin to change. This shift isn't just about your outward actions, it's a transformation in your energy, your state of being. You stop chasing after their validation or approval and instead focus on yourself. This isn't just a superficial change, it's a deep internal shift. You start healing in ways that make you stronger, more confident, and more aware of your own worth. This change doesn't go unnoticed, even if they don't immediately express it. Your energy becomes magnetic, not because you want it to be, but because you're no longer looking outside of yourself for fulfillment. The energy you radiate when you focus on your own well-being and growth is undeniable. This shift in focus, this realignment of your energy, sends a message that you're no longer the same person they left behind. They feel it. The magnetism you now exude is what draws them back. It's not something you do intentionally, but rather a byproduct of putting yourself first. When you stop prioritizing their actions and instead start elevating your own thoughts and beliefs, you begin to shift your energy. The shift doesn't just change you, it changes the way the world, including them, responds to you. The more you focus on self-worth, self-care, and empowerment, the more your energy becomes a force that pulls others, including those who hurt you, back into your orbit. It's not about revenge or holding a grudge. It's about realizing your own strength and the impact that has on everyone around you. The more you elevate your energy, the more irresistible your presence becomes. And this often leads them to come back. Their return isn't always about them realizing their mistakes right away. It's about their subconscious recognizing the change in you, the power you've gained from walking away. They are drawn back because they can sense the void left by their absence. When someone who once had access to your energy sees that you've shifted and moved on, they feel the loss. That void, that emptiness, makes them realize that something important is missing in their lives. They come back not necessarily for closure, but because they want to fill that void. This process isn't about their desires, it's about your transformation. Their return is a reflection of what you've become, not just a result of their feelings for you, but a reaction to the shift you've created within yourself. It's proof that your self-worth and inner strength are more powerful than any past hurt or rejection. The void they feel is a direct consequence of the new energy you radiate, and they cannot resist being pulled back into that force. When they come back, it's important to recognize that their return doesn't define your worth or invalidate the progress you've made. It's simply a reflection of the energy you've created. What matters now is how you respond. Their return is a reflection of your transformation, and it's essential to remember that you are in control. Their reappearance is a test of how much you value yourself and whether you will allow their actions from the past to influence your future. You may feel tempted to open your arms to welcome them back with open hearts, but don't forget the person you've become in their absence. Your growth, your journey, is a reflection of your inner power and your commitment to yourself. As they return, you have the opportunity to decide whether they deserve a place in your life once again, not based on nostalgia or emotional attachment, but on the new version of you they are meeting. Their return doesn't have to be about them at all. It's about how much you've transformed and what you're now willing to accept in your life. The choice is yours. The question is, are you ready to stand firm in your growth and let your energy speak louder than the past? When someone leaves your life after causing damage, it's easy to feel as if the door has been closed for good. But time and again, people who have hurt you find their way back, often when you least expect it. Why does this happen? What is it that compels them to return, even after all the pain they caused? The answer lies not in their actions, but in the power of detachment, a force that can alter the entire dynamic between you and them. Detachment isn't about giving up or withdrawing emotionally. It's not about shutting yourself off from the world or abandoning what you care about. Instead, it's about releasing the need for external validation and control over a situation. It's about standing firm in your own sense of worth and realizing that you don't need anyone, not even the person who hurt you, to define your happiness. When you choose detachment, you stop allowing their actions or behavior to dictate your emotional state. This shift in perspective creates a profound change within you, one that doesn't go unnoticed. In the absence of constant worry or emotional dependence on them, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop chasing after their approval or trying to make sense of their behavior. The energy you once spent trying to figure them out or fix what they broke is redirected back toward yourself. This doesn't just mean taking care of yourself physically, but emotionally and mentally. You start to focus on your own healing, growth, and well-being. You prioritize your own journey and realize that you are enough just as you are. As you begin to let go of the emotional attachment you once had, the person who hurt you may begin to feel the shift. People are wired to pick up on energy. When you release the hold they once had over you, they notice it. Your detachment doesn't make them indifferent to you, it does the opposite. It creates a magnetic force, one that draws them back into your orbit. They feel the loss of your energy, your presence, and they find themselves drawn to it once again. The shift in your energy is subtle but powerful. As you let go, you also step into a space of empowerment. You no longer feel the need to hold on to them, to wait for them to change, or to seek their approval. Instead, you embrace the freedom that comes with knowing you are whole without them. This newfound strength is like a beacon that attracts them back. They are no longer able to ignore the fact that you are no longer the person they left behind. They are now independent and powerful. You've evolved into someone who is complete on your own, and this can be both disarming and intriguing to them. But detachment doesn't just draw them in, it also frees you. When you no longer seek answers from them, when you no longer tie your emotional well-being to their actions, you open yourself up to a life filled with possibilities. You stop allowing the past to hold you hostage, and instead you make room for new experiences. This act of emotional liberation is what makes you truly irresistible, not because you're trying to win them back, but because you're no longer dependent on anyone for your peace of mind. As they sense this shift, they may come back, but not because they necessarily regret their actions or realize their mistakes immediately. It's because they recognize that the person they once knew is no longer within their grasp. They feel the emptiness that their absence has caused in your life, and they instinctively try to fill that void. But this time the dynamic has changed. They are no longer in control of the situation. Your emotional detachment has allowed you to take charge of your own life, and they are left to navigate their own feelings in response. It's essential to remember that their return is not about your need for closure, nor is it about them fixing things. Their reappearance is a result of your transformation, and it's up to you to decide how you want to respond. You've gained clarity, strength, and wisdom through the process of detachment, and now you stand in a place of power. Your self-worth is no longer contingent upon their actions, and that is something they will feel when they return. As you move forward in your journey of emotional freedom, you begin to realize that detachment is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It is the ability to choose yourself over the need to hold on to something that no longer serves you. And when someone who has hurt you comes back, it's not a sign that you need to go back to them, but a testament to the fact that you are stronger than ever. Ultimately, detachment gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms. It allows you to reclaim your emotional sovereignty and move forward with a sense of self-assurance that nothing or no one can take away from you. When you stop seeking closure from others and start finding it within yourself, you create the space to live a life filled with peace, joy, and the confidence that you are enough, whether or not anyone else chooses to walk alongside you. When someone walks away after causing harm, it's easy to feel as though the hurt and confusion will linger forever. But there is an undeniable truth. The energy you carry within yourself doesn't just impact your own emotional state, it affects everything and everyone around you. When you change your energy, the entire dynamic shifts, and this can draw people back, even after they've hurt you. The way you align your energy and frequency will determine how the world, including the people who have left your life, responds to you. Every thought and belief you hold emits a certain energy into the universe. These aren't just fleeting thoughts. They're powerful forces that shape your reality. When you are fixated on someone who has wronged you, that fixation pulls you into a low-frequency state of anger, sadness, and confusion. This energy keeps you tied to them, even if they are no longer present physically. The longer you hold on to these low-frequency emotions, the more they anchor you to that person and the hurt they caused. But when you decide to stop focusing on them and begin aligning your energy with higher vibrations, something incredible happens. You no longer feel the need to hold on to resentment or pain. Instead, you start to prioritize your own well-being and growth. You shift your thoughts toward positivity, gratitude, and self-love. This doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending it didn't happen. It means acknowledging the hurt and choosing not to let it define you. When you shift your frequency, you begin to elevate your emotional state and in turn your reality. This shift in energy doesn't just affect you internally, it impacts the world around you. People are highly sensitive to energy, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. When you raise your frequency, you become magnetic, drawing in people who match your new energy. The person who once hurt you can feel this change. They sense the shift in your aura, the newfound strength and self-worth you are radiating. This is why, even after causing pain, they may be drawn back into your life. They are subconsciously attracted to the energy you now exude, the energy that no longer craves validation or approval from them. As you raise your vibration, you stop seeking external validation or closure from them. Instead, you focus inward on your own healing and empowerment. This energy shift is not about revenge or getting them to feel guilty for what they did. It's about your own transformation. You begin to see yourself as worthy of love, peace, and happiness, independent of anyone else's actions. When you align your energy with these positive emotions, you stop needing them to complete you. You are whole on your own, and this independence is incredibly attractive. Their return is not because they owe you an apology or because they realize the mistake they made. It's because they can feel the pull of your new energy. Your inner transformation creates an emotional vacuum that they can sense, and this void pulls them back into your orbit. They may not even consciously understand why they are drawn to you again, but it's your frequency that calls them. Your energy becomes something they can't ignore, something they need to experience again. The longer you maintain this elevated frequency, the more irresistible your presence becomes. However, this return is not an invitation to go back to old patterns. The power of aligning your energy with positivity and self-worth means that you no longer accept anything less than what you deserve. You've raised your vibration, and you are no longer available for low energy dynamics. Their return is a reflection of the transformation you've gone through. And it's important to remember that you are in control of how you respond. When you shift your frequency, you stop being reactive to other people's actions. Instead, you become proactive in shaping your own life. You stop letting other people's behavior dictate your mood or your choices. You become a creator of your own reality, attracting people and experiences that match the energy you are now putting out into the world. This is not just about relationships, it's about the quality of your life in every area. When you align your energy with love, abundance, and self-respect, you draw those same qualities into your life. Their return then is not a sign that you have to go back to them or accept their past behavior. It's an opportunity to see how much you've changed. The person who once hurt you is no longer the person you once knew. Your frequency has shifted. And the person they encounter now is someone who has done the inner work, someone who has learned to love and value themselves. You are no longer tied to the past or to them, and your energy will no longer tolerate anything that doesn't align with your new reality. When your energy aligns with your true worth, your life begins to reflect that alignment. People who once walked away from you will feel the shift and may try to return. But it's essential to remember that their return is not about them, it's about you. Your elevated frequency, your inner peace, and your strength are what they are responding to. And whether or not you choose to let them back into your life is entirely up to you. What matters most is that you've realized the incredible power you hold to shape your own reality, to attract the people and experiences that match your highest vibration. It's a perplexing phenomenon, one that many have experienced but few understand. When someone who hurt you in the past finds their way back into your life, despite the pain they caused, despite the distance you thought you had between you, they reappear, often when you've least expected it. What's behind this? Why does this happen? It's not about them, but about an underlying force, the unconscious attraction that governs human interactions, emotions, and relationships. When someone leaves your life after causing hurt, it's natural to feel a sense of relief, even empowerment. You may feel as though you have closed the chapter and can finally move on. But what many don't realize is that emotional bonds don't simply disappear overnight. Our emotions and attachments are intricately tied to our subconscious, and these feelings don't always obey logic or reason. When you think you've healed, when you think you've let go of all the pain, the unconscious attraction can still linger, silently pulling both parties back toward one another. This unconscious attraction doesn't happen because you haven't healed, nor does it mean that you still want this person in your life. It's more subtle than that. It is rooted in the energy that you both once shared, the connection that formed between you. When two people have been close, whether emotionally, physically, or both, their energies intertwine. These energetic bonds, formed through shared experiences and emotions, remain even after physical separation. The mind and body may let go, but the deeper unconscious pull can remain, compelling both individuals to come back together. The reason this happens is tied to the way the subconscious mind works. It operates beyond the surface, influencing our thoughts, actions, and behaviors in ways we don't fully understand. Even if you consciously decide to move on, to forget about the person who hurt you, there may still be remnants of that emotional connection buried deep within you. Your subconscious mind, always working behind the scenes, can pull both individuals back together, even though consciously neither of you may be actively seeking each other out. This is why someone who has hurt you can feel the magnetic force that your energy now radiates. They might not consciously realize what's happening, but on some level, they sense that something has changed. They might even feel an urge to reconnect, even if they don't fully understand why. The truth is that when you've experienced an intense emotional bond with someone, your energy fields have been deeply affected. That energy doesn't simply vanish because you've decided to move on. Instead, it continues to exert a force on both of you, drawing you back together whether you consciously want it or not. On your end, when this unconscious attraction begins to stir, it can create confusion. You may find yourself wondering why thoughts of this person start resurfacing after you thought you had moved on. You might find yourself feeling emotionally unsettled or even conflicted, unsure of whether you should welcome their return or push them away. This internal tug of war is the result of that deeper, unconscious bond. Your mind and body may be telling you that you've healed, that you've let go, but your energy and subconscious are telling a different story. But while this unconscious attraction can pull both individuals back together, it's important to remember that it doesn't mean you should automatically give in. This isn't an invitation to return to the past or revisit old wounds. Instead, it's an opportunity for growth and introspection. The return of someone who once hurt you is an invitation to reflect on how far you've come. It's a chance to reassess what you truly need and deserve. The energy that draws them back to you is not about their need to return to you, but about your need to reclaim your energy, your self-worth, and your sense of power. When you recognize that this unconscious attraction is not a sign that you should give in, you gain control over the situation. You begin to realize that the unconscious attraction isn't about them, it's about you and your inner growth. It's about the energy that you radiate now, the person you've become in their absence. When you've healed, when you've released the need for validation, the unconscious attraction becomes a test of your own strength. It becomes a reminder that you've come so far and that you no longer need to seek validation from someone who has already shown their true colors. The key to navigating this return and this unconscious attraction is to stay grounded in your truth. You have the power to choose whether or not to allow this person back into your life. The unconscious pull is strong, but it's not a force that can dictate your choices. You hold the power to decide whether you welcome them back into your space or whether you continue to grow and move forward without them. Your energy and frequency are now in your control, and it's up to you to decide how you want to respond. The return of someone who has hurt you isn't a reflection of their importance in your life. It's a reflection of the powerful unconscious forces that shape human behavior. When you understand this, you can approach the situation with clarity and strength, no longer feeling pulled by forces beyond your control. You realize that you are no longer at the mercy of anyone else's actions or emotions. You are in control of your own energy, and that energy will always guide you toward what's best for you. The power lies within you to decide how you want to respond to the unconscious pull. When you stand firm in your own self-worth and release any lingering attachments, you break free from the chains of unconscious attraction. You are free to live your life on your terms, no longer held hostage by the past or the unresolved energy that once connected you to someone else. When you go through a significant period of growth, something happens that you may not fully understand at first. As you evolve, whether emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, you create a void within yourself. This void is not one of emptiness, but of potential. It's a space that was once filled with old patterns, limiting beliefs, and unhealed wounds. But as you grow, you shed what no longer serves you. The energy you once poured into things that held you back is now redirected towards something greater. And this change doesn't go unnoticed by those around you, especially by someone who once had a deep connection with you. The void you create doesn't just affect you. It affects others too, often drawing them back toward you. This void is an interesting concept because at first glance it may seem like a negative space. It's not the emptiness of loneliness or lack, but rather the openness to new possibilities, new growth, and new experiences. When you begin to heal and grow, you start to clear away the emotional baggage, the old attachments, and the hurt that once defined your emotional landscape. What's left behind is a new, open space. A void that is ready to be filled with higher energy, new relationships, and deeper understanding. But this isn't a void that remains empty. Instead, it draws people in. Those who once were in your life, especially those who hurt you, feel the pull of that open space. This doesn't happen because you want them back or because you are still attached to them. It happens because your growth, your inner transformation, creates an energy that is magnetic. People who once had an emotional connection to you can feel the shift in your energy, even from a distance. They sense that you are no longer the same person they once knew, and they may feel an unconscious urge to return to you, to fill the void that your growth has created. This isn't necessarily about them. They may not even understand why they feel compelled to reconnect with you, but it's about the powerful energy you now radiate, a result of your personal transformation. The void that you create through your growth is not something to fear, it's a natural part of the process. When you release old patterns, unhealthy attachments, and unresolved emotions, it opens up space for something new. The space itself is a powerful force that attracts the attention of others, whether they are conscious of it or not. This void is not a weakness, but a manifestation of your strength and evolution. So, as you heal and let go of the past, you create a fertile ground for new connections, experiences, and opportunities to blossom. Those who once caused you pain might return, sensing that something is different, sensing that the energy around you has shifted. What many fail to realize is that the return of someone who has hurt you is not necessarily a sign of them wanting to reconcile or make amends. More often than not, it's a sign of the energetic pull that your growth has created. People are deeply affected by energy, even if they can't articulate why they feel drawn back to you. The energy you emit after personal growth is far more attractive than anything you could ever physically possess. It is a magnetic force that pulls people back into your orbit, making them feel the emptiness of the void they once occupied, the space they once filled. This is why they may return, not out of a desire for resolution, but because they are subconsciously seeking something within that void. But this return doesn't mean you should automatically let them back into your life. It is important to remember that your growth has given you clarity. You've worked hard to release old attachments, old pain, and old patterns. The void is yours to fill with whatever you choose. And you don't have to fill it with someone who once caused you harm. The return of someone from your past is an opportunity for you to see how far you've come, to see how much stronger and more self-assured you have become. It's a test of your boundaries, a chance to reaffirm your worth and your new understanding of yourself. The void you've created is not a vacuum for just anything. It's a space meant for something better, something aligned with your higher self. When you've created this void through personal growth, you are no longer the person who clung to unhealthy relationships or sought validation from those who hurt you. You've moved beyond that. The energy you now radiate is one of self-worth, self-love, and inner peace. As you stand in this new energy, you no longer seek to fill the void with anyone or anything. You trust that the right people and opportunities will fill it naturally, but only when they align with your higher purpose. The people who return to you after this period of growth may do so out of curiosity, drawn by the changes they perceive in you. But it's essential to see this as an opportunity to assess whether they are truly in alignment with the person you have become. The void you've created is not an open invitation for past hurt or negativity to return. It's a space that invites only the things that will support your new reality, the relationships, opportunities, and experiences that will help you continue to grow. And while the energy of someone who has hurt you might return, you are no longer desperate to fill the void with them. You now understand that the emptiness they once filled was never truly filled. It was a false sense of fulfillment that came from dependence and attachment, not from true self-love and self-worth. There's something deeply transformative about realizing that self-worth is not just a concept, but a driving force that governs everything in your life. It is the silent foundation beneath every decision you make, every relationship you foster, and every boundary you set. But what happens when you truly awaken to this power within yourself? What happens when you no longer seek validation from others? When you understand that your worth doesn't depend on anyone's approval? It's a profound shift, one that has the ability to change the course of your life. For too long, many of us have been conditioned to place our worth in the hands of others. Whether it's in a relationship, a career, or even in the way we are viewed by society, we often define our value based on external factors. We rely on others to tell us we're good enough, worthy enough, beautiful enough. But what happens when those sources of validation disappear, or when they fall short of what we need? The truth is, our self-worth was never meant to be dependent on the outside world. It's a deep, intrinsic understanding of who we are, independent of anyone's approval. When you awaken to the power of this self-worth, everything changes. It's not just about feeling good about yourself on the surface. It's about realizing that you are enough exactly as you are. This realization has the power to shift the entire trajectory of your life. When you recognize your own worth, you stop seeking it outside of yourself. You stop chasing after validation from people who can never truly give you what you need. Instead, you turn inward and begin to nurture and honor yourself, acknowledging your strengths, your passions, and your unique gifts. Your value isn't determined by someone's approval or rejection. It's inherent in who you are as a person. The shift towards recognizing your self-worth is also about setting boundaries. When you understand your value, you stop allowing others to treat you in ways that don't reflect that worth. You no longer tolerate mistreatment, disrespect, or neglect. You recognize that you deserve better relationships, better opportunities, and better treatment. No longer will you accept crumbs when you know you deserve the whole feast. The answer. This shift in mindset isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about self-respect. It's about acknowledging that you are deserving of everything that aligns with your highest potential. When you truly embody your self-worth, you begin to attract the people and situations that reflect that energy. Your relationships shift. You start surrounding yourself with individuals who value and respect you, who see your worth and honor it. This is not because you've demanded it, but because you've aligned your energy with what you deserve. People who are on the same wavelength are drawn to you, while those who do not resonate with your energy naturally fall away. This magnetic pull towards higher vibrational connections is a testament to the power of recognizing your own value. You no longer need to chase after people or situations. They begin to come to you naturally because your energy has shifted. Self-worth also impacts the way you approach your career and aspirations. When you understand that you are capable and deserving of success, you stop settling for mediocrity. You stop letting fear or self-doubt hold you back from pursuing your dreams. You begin to take bold steps towards your goals, knowing that you are worthy of achieving them. This newfound confidence enables you to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward, even when things get tough. The reputation is the new totem. You are no longer afraid to put yourself out there because you know that your worth doesn't depend on external validation or outcomes. You simply know that you are enough. In relationships, self-worth is an equally powerful force. When you understand that you are worthy of love, respect, and genuine connection, you stop allowing toxic or one-sided dynamics to persist. You stop chasing after people who don't appreciate you, and you stop sacrificing your happiness for others. Instead, you invest your energy in relationships that nourish your soul, that uplift and support you. You recognize that love doesn't have to be hard or painful. It should be a mutual exchange of respect, care, and understanding. By raising your own self-worth, you set the standard for how others treat you, and you naturally attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships. But the key to embracing your self-worth is learning to trust yourself. Self-doubt often creeps in when we're unsure of our value. We question our abilities, our worthiness, and our deservingness of happiness. But the truth is, you are more than capable of creating the life you desire. You are worthy of the love, success, and happiness you seek. Trusting yourself means releasing the need for outside approval and instead believing in your own abilities and judgment. At least, it means silencing the inner critic and recognizing that you are enough, flaws and all. When you trust yourself, you stop second-guessing your decisions and start living with confidence and clarity. Self-worth is the key to unlocking your full potential. When you recognize your own value, you unlock a world of possibilities. You stop living in fear or scarcity, and instead you live with abundance and possibility. You stop doubting your worth, and instead you embrace the truth of who you are. This shift in mindset will open doors that were previously closed, and it will help you step into a life that reflects your highest self. You are worthy of everything you desire, whether it's love, success, peace, or happiness. Your worth is not determined by anyone else's perception of you. It's determined by your own belief in yourself. When you know your worth, everything changes. You begin to make decisions from a place of power and confidence. You stop settling for less than you deserve, and you start building a life that reflects your value. Your self-worth becomes the foundation of your happiness and success. It's the driving force behind every action you take, every relationship you build, and every dream you pursue. Once you fully understand your value, you'll never settle for anything less than what you deserve. If this is a great, and that, my friend, is when true transformation begins.